Слышится нам эхо давнего парада, снятся нам маршруты главного броска. Ты моя надежда, ты моя отрада, в сердце у солдата, ты моя Москва. Мы свою победу выстрадали честно, преданы святому кровному родству. В каждом новом доме, в каждой новой песне помните ушедших в битву за Москву. Серые шинели, русские таланты, синее сияние неподкупных глаз. На равнинах снежных юные курсанты, началось бессмертие, жизнь оборвалась. Мне на этом свете ничего не надо.
As the German war machine rumbled on, reaching its goal of the AA line, the workers and peasants' Red Army fought on in spite of overwhelming odds. However, their gallant struggle was not enough to push the Germans back from Moscow. Stalin had also gone missing without a trace, with his fate unknown. The remnants of the Soviet government had regrouped in the spare capital of Perm. This marked the end of the German-Soviet War, as the Union was no longer able to continue offensive operations, and the Germans reached their long-term objectives. However, what remained of the Union fractured. Siberia broke off into the so-called Second Union, and in the Far East, the Americans invaded and propped up a capitalist republic. The Second Union was organized by Andrei Zhdanov in opposition to Beria in Perm. However, as he grew older, a power struggle ensued. Zhdanov's neo-Stalinism became a point of contention among many in Krasnoyarsk, including the famed Marshal Georgy Zhukov. The Second Union fell apart. Russia's most loyal sons and daughters have rallied around Zhukov in hopes of founding a new, fairer union. However, not everything was well for the Marshal. In state matters, institutions had little to no identity. The NKVD under Serov was constantly plotting. In Tuva, an insurgency was going on. In Tuva, an insurgency was ongoing.
Everyone ready? Ready, Comrade Captain.
За Родину!
Взвод! Перегруппироваться! Живо! Держу позицию! Нужна помощь!
The insurgency was put down. As for the state of the armed forces, recruiting motivated soldiers was a major issue. There were two competing schools of thought, the plurinational and the traditionalist school of thought. Zhukov preferred to listen to the opinion of a fellow war veteran, Vasily Zaitsev over the bureaucrats of the CPSS. And thus, Zhukov and the famed war veteran began the process of removing restrictions on public expression of one's religion, as after all, the Red Army was created with the help of God. Meanwhile in Germany, the genocidal Adolf Hitler finally died. Almost right then and there, using the power struggle which was sparked in the Reich, territories it occupied in Ukraine, Caucasus, and Russia proper have fallen into chaos. This became a signal for Russian successor states to start moving. With Central Siberia united under Zhukov's leadership, it was now time to turn the army's gaze towards the traitorous capitalists, who have made Vladivostok their hideout.
Comrade Captain. Permission to report?
Granted.
Republic forces are thinly dispersed along the railway. They do not expect anyone to infiltrate in that area.
Very well. We are moving out now then.
Патроны давай! Вперед! Бегом! Отбой! Я ранен в руку!
Now that most of Siberia beyond the Urals was unified under the leadership of the esteemed Marshal, some issues were nonetheless present in the Red Army. The Marshal has taken the state along the course of uniformity. This also affected the armed forces, as unofficially, non-Russians were blacklisted from serving in the roles above that of common battlefield grunts. A united army was believed to be the best choice, when the whole Union was still fractured between two remaining contenders. In June of 1956, the armed forces of the Perm government began marching eastwards. The final reunification war has begun. In 1962, the Soviet Union was re-established. However, there were still many breakaway states where Soviet authority had to be brought back to. With the majority of the country reunified, Zhukov could now begin building up the country and the people of the Union for the final battle of civilizations. By 1966, the rejuvenated Workers' and Peasants' Red Army was amassed along the border of the Moscovian and Ukrainian Reichskommissariats. It had many new weapons to use to liberate the oppressed peoples of Europe from the genocidal Nazis. All it would take would be one word from the Marshal, and all those millions would cross over the border.
Congratulations on your promotion, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Captain. So, how is it looking?
Border is heavily guarded. But there is a part of the barbed wire where an old Hanomag broke down.
Damn, for how long was it there?
At least a decade, either SS or collaborators. So what's your mission? My group is tasked with infiltrating deep into German territory and taking out their high-ranking officers and officials.
We need to set up a spy station just across the border.
Alright then, good luck. Man, haven't shot at a German since the 40s. Will be great to do it again.
Враг уничтожен. Все чисто.
попал! Прекратить огонь!
On the 16th of January of 1966, the order from the Marshal had finally come.
Come on, get this over with. The convoy will be here any minute.
In trying. Do not rush the process.
Unsere Wachposten melden Aktivitäten einer feindlichen Sabotagegruppe in der Gegend. Gruppenführer Bauer wurde tot aufgefunden.
Wie? Durchsucht die Gegend.
Bewegt euch, ihr verdammten Tiere. Die Barbaren stehen vor den Toren. Los, los!
It is done.
Radio command that we got another one.
Vernichtete!
Panzerbrechende Munition. Laden. Schüsse Verwundete.
Огонь на подавление! Огонь на подавление! Сюда! Сюда! Вот сюда!
Бронебойный давай, что умеет?
Второй, четвертый перенести огонь на новую цель.
Munition!
In January of 1970, Soviet forces have completely surrounded the lair of the fascist beast, Berlin. Some Soviet soldiers found a scorched body in a ditch. Forensic evidence revealed this was the body of the top propagandist of the Reich, Joseph Goebbels. He and Albert Speer took over the leadership of the Reich after the death of Adolf Hitler. However, Speer was nowhere to be found, as he was able to escape to France. With the fall of Munich, what little remained of the Wehrmacht and the SS capitulated to the Soviet forces. However, the hunt for Speer was not yet over, as Zhukov demanded an invasion into France. With the liberation of France, the beating heart of Nazism was destroyed once and for all. Despite the triumph of the USSR in its ultimate challenge, there were still some matters to attend to. And so, after many decades of struggle, from the crushing defeats of 1941 at the hands of the Germans, the Soviets came back with a vengeance. The socialist motherland was now made safe for generations to come, with no nation in Europe strong enough or brave enough to ever even consider bringing harm upon it.